for starters, I think being an ambassador of Taiwan in the Netherlands, I do believe that raising Taiwan's profile is one of the most important tasks. And in fact, Taiwan has been kind of a hidden gem, to most of the Europeans. That despite the fact that Taiwan is the 21st largest economy, you know, um, it's not really until very recently, and sadly, thanks to China's increasing military intimidation, that Taiwan started to be enjoying more international press coverage and become better known to the public. And so, as we reach out, our main target is the young elites, and mostly students' association and the youth groups of political parties in the Netherlands. And as we all know, that nowadays, if there's one issue that the young people really hold dear, I think it's LGBTI rights. Therefore, each time when I was talking to the Dutch audience, is especially the younger generation, I will always mention that Taiwan is so far is the first and so far the only country in Asia that has legalized same-sex marriage. And without fail, they always resonate very, very well with the audiences. And I think actually it's the LGBTI uh, uh, rights that raise our international profile by itself. And so our work is just to make it better known to the public.
It's really fascinating how you mentioned how LGBTI rights and marriage equality has raised Taiwan's profile and brought interest in the European Union. Um, what resonates the most, and how do you think Taiwan can continue to leverage this inclusiveness from LGBT standpoint to gain more support for Taiwan in the Netherlands and Europe?
Well, actually, there was already since we legalized same-sex marriage, I think this is has been already noticed, by some of the LGBTI rights groups in the Netherlands. For example, there was this one NGO named Workplace Pride that has actually organized the original conference in Taipei back in 2000. I think early 2020, and actually our minister and then some of the government officials were also invited to give a talk. I myself also gave a speech at this conference. So you see how because of this issue that really bring us the two our governments and our people together. And I think we also see that there's a lot of things to be done, and so we can join efforts and then make the LGBTI rights promotion being done through our cooperation.
It's really intriguing in terms of how governments have reacted, and you mentioned workplace pride. What has been the overall reaction of European governments, politicians, other organizations since you saw this become legalized, and in your capacity as the ambassador in the Netherlands?
Well, I think, as a matter of fact, to promote LGBTI rights has been a kind of diplomatic goal for many of the European governments. And when I was working in Taiwan in the European Affairs Department at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I already noticed that many of the representatives of the European countries will participate in the LGBTI rights movement in Taiwan. So, for example, like Taipei Gay Pride, So it went without saying that when we finally legalized the same-sex marriage, it was. I think all the governments, European governments, welcome wholeheartedly. And then I remember, I think a few months after we adopted the law, there was a conference co-hosted by our ministry and also the EU mission in Taiwan, and that was to promote the same-sex marriage and gender parity. I think this is like kind of a nice gesture to show their recognition to our progress, and then it also shows that they are very willing to work closely with Taiwan on this issue.